of position when offense comes his way. So I think Joshua's better positioning can put Deontay out of position and then rip him with something big and knock him out. But the flip side to that is Deontay has a much better jab. Deontay has a longer, more established jab, snappy jab, a sharp one too. Joshua gives absolutely no head movement, and maybe it's because he's so muscle bound. He has no head movement. So how do you hit a guy with no head movement? The best things to throw at a guy with no head movement are straight punches,
right down the middle.
And that's what Deontay's best weapon is, the jab and the 1-2. So I from that perspective, I think Joshua is more complete as far as positioning and the way he's overall as a fighter. But I think the weapons Deontay possesses are a very big threat to Joshua. So I really have a difficult time, picking a definitive winner, because depending on how things play out, I can see both guys winding up in a bad situation or a good situation in that fight. I'm noticing online, especially on Twitter, and then just the way fans are interacting and whatnot. Like English fans are like, it's like blasphemous if you think Deontay is going to beat Joshua. I think you're out of your mind if you don't think Deontay's a threat to Joshua. I think just I just explained to you how he's a threat to Joshua, because I'm not going to just sit here telling you somebody's a threat to somebody just because they're a threat. I'm going to sit here and explain it to you because of Deontay's jab and 1-2. I think Deontay's a very big threat to Joshua, who has no head movement. I don't think Joshua's suddenly going to develop head movement overnight. You know what I'm saying? I think he's muscle bound. I think he's and because he's muscle bound, it makes him a little less nimble. He's a very complete fighter. If I had to guess, he's probably more of a complete fighter than Deontay overall. But I think Deontay has good enough fundamentals in the jab and the 1-2 that if he gets there first and he can establish that jab right off the bat like he did against Stavern, I think you may not allow Joshua to put you in that out of position situation, because once offense does start coming at Deontay's way and you make Deontay a little bit uncomfortable, Deontay is all over the place. It's a very bad habit. He's all over the place. He starts flailing, and that being out of position, a guy like Joshua, who's one of his best assets is his positioning, he can put you out. You know what I'm saying? And that. So again, there's a situation for both guys. And by the way, how we're gonna actually have Deontay on the phone.
Calling any minute.
It should be calling any minute.
Before we get to that, I'm gonna quickly say I slightly lead towards Joshua, but it's even less now after the performance. Not because what Stavern did or didn't do, just to me how sharp Deontay looked.
Agree.
And if you have that game plan and you stay consistent with it. But if the line came out without money swaying it either way, you don't get any more close to a pick'em fight.
Right, I agree. Sure. And you think it gives Deontay some confidence to see that Joshua has been down? I mean, he was down and almost out. I mean, he showed a lot of heart coming back.
I think both guys. I think both
has
guys.
Deontay been down?
Eric Molina rocked Deontay Wilder.
Right, that's true.
I mean,
did he knock him down?
Listen,
I think
these are big guys.
I think both guys' power is enough to know that when they land, the other guy's going down. So
right.
I think
both guys.
If Deontay hurts him like Klitschko did,
did we introduce Junior on the show?
Well, we can
get no respect here.
He's been on
the young guy,
Junior
Union. We're gonna have him talk about his fight after we have the phone with Deontay in a minute. But we'll let Junior give his opinion on this now.
I think Joshua starts out too careful, and you can't do that against Wilder. I think you have to set a pace against Wilder and make him uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I think he just starts too slow and Deontay.
But that's also a cognizant decision you can make to not start slow. He usually starts slow.